Welcome to the Trojan Round Table, where 9 friends turn the most trivial topics into full-blown, passionate debate. Every episode, we rank our top 10 takes from food and movies to sports, zoo animals, and everything in between. Then we seed those rankings into a bracket and vote, round by round, argument by argument, until one topic is left standing. No experts, no safe opinions, just strong takes, bad logic, and friendships hanging by a thread. This is the Trojan Round Table. Let the debate begin. Welcome to episode number 2, where we are breaking down the bracket of our TV shows here. I'm Devin.
I'm Logan.
I'm Jet.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Trenton.
Colton.
All right. So again, we got 6 of the guys here. 3 guys are not here, and that's all right. But we're going to go right through this bracket here. So we actually, we seeded 16 of our shows. Remember, I said if we ranked it number 1 here, you got 10 points, and we ranked it number 10 and got 1 point. And we kind of filled it out, and we seed out from that. So our number 1 seed is The Office, had the most points. And so The Office is matched up with It, Welcome to Derry. Another matchup is Band of Brothers versus Friends. Peaky Blinders versus Modern Family. Suits versus Friday Night Lights. Ted Lasso versus The Last Kingdom. Breaking Bad versus Survivor. Game of Thrones versus Fallout. Schitt's Creek versus Yellowstone. So those are our 8 matchups that we're going to be debating here in the first round. We're going to start off with The Office versus It, Welcome to Derry.
We all know The Office has to win, right?
Well, first off, only
I've
2
seen
of
both.
us.
I like them both.
Only
Without
2 of
question.
us have seen Welcome to Derry, so of course The Office is gonna win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Logan's
You
number 1
have-
show.
Yeah.
And the only other person that's seen It Welcome to Derry has The
didn't even
Office
vote
in their
for it.
top 10 and It not in the top 10. I mean, it probably lost like 8-1 anyway, so.
Yeah.
It was actually 7-0. So
Okay,
yeah, there's
okay.
1 vote. Actually 2 votes not cast.
Well, it
but
doesn't matter.
one of them was
No,
voted.
yeah,
Doesn't matter, The
I
Office
definitely
won.
missed it, or maybe I saw it and was like, well, it's not gonna win, so fair enough. I
Definitely enough
guess.
votes for The Office. Yeah, we'll break down The Office later. That was kind of a landslide there. Let's get into a little better matchup here. Right below at the 8-9 matchup, we got Band of Brothers versus Friends. And you want to debate that to start here?
I think Friends took this one pretty easily, as one of the main things on TV shows is watchability. You can't argue watchability when Band of Brothers is like 2 hours long per episode.
True.
I mean, that's a phenomenal take. And yeah, Band of Brothers is my number 2 and Friends is my number 3. So I hate seeing them go in the first round against each other. I cast my vote for Band of Brothers. I mean, the votes went 5-3. Obviously, you only need 5 votes to win. Friends won it. But, I mean, it was a little closer than in a landslide, like it said. Harrison had Band of Brothers number 1. Other than that, a lot of Friends on some lists and not a lot of Band of Brothers. So, I think I disagree. I think Harrison disagrees. I think everybody else agrees that, Friends kind of won that one. Any other takes there or ready to move on? All right, next we got Peaky Blinders versus Modern Family.
2 completely
Those are
different
close
shows
ones, too.
getting matched up.
Yep. Complete polar opposites.
Hmm
I think Peaky Blinders has to win this one.
I would agree.
Why do they have
I
to?
believe it did. Am I correct?
I'll tell you
You
who
are.
won. Tell me why Peaky Blinders should win this.
It's just a better show. Modern Family's good, but it's, I don't know.
In terms of storytelling,
It's just
Peaky
not-
Blinders is
yeah.
by far better.
I think in this situation, it depends what type of show you're into more so.
Yeah, Modern Family is just a show based on following a family for 10 years.
Yeah,
Peaky Blinders
it's
actually
funny. It's
story.
funny, but it's like, I don't know. There's not that much of a story behind it.
I mean, Peaky Blinders are also following a family for a number of years, but there's just more,
Well,
like they keep saying, a story.
you're
behind it.
not
You're kind of
wrong.
following the family.
You're not
Yeah, I
wrong.
mean, there's a
Mainly
story
one
behind
guy.
it, though. Yeah.
I mean, I've not, I said this last episode, I've not seen Peaky Blinders. I need to. I know I need
You
to.
need to.
Haven't either.
I know it's good. Y'all have talked about it. It's on my list. Watching Modern
Of course.
Family right now for the second time through. I mean, who doesn't love some Phil Dunphy? I mean, come on. But, I mean,
Yeah,
from what
you-
I've heard
yeah.
about Peaky Blinders, I can understand why Peaky Blinders did win, but the vote was 5-4. Came right down to the
Well,
last
it
vote.
was-
So
It was very
close.
close.
it was close. So Peaky Blinders moved on there. Any other takes on that matchup before we move on here? All right. Next one, we had Suits versus Friday Night Lights. We had some Friday Night Lights and we had some Suits, but not everybody had both. So anyone want to defend either of those?
A tough matchup, round 1.
That is, I've
Yeah.
seen both. I don't have either on my list, but I think I would lean Suits in this instance.
I mean, Friday
I'm-
Night Lights is about as good as you get for a high school football, but Suits is Suits.
Suits is really good.
It's a bad matchup for Friday Night Lights, is what it is.
Friday Night Lights probably could have beat most anyone else for the most part if it wasn't matched up against Suits.
I mean, I've got a hot take
Anybody
here.
else?
For the
Well,
longest time,
to an extent.
in straight TV shows, I mean, Coach Taylor was as good as it gets for the longest time. And then Ted Lasso
He
came
is-
and stole his shine. So for those who have not seen Ted
He
Lasso,
was
Ted Lasso
Kurt-
is Coach Taylor, but better. All right.
He was Kurt Signetti before Kurt Signetti.
Wasn't Michael B. Jordan in Friday Night Lights in the later seasons?
Yeah,
yeah, he was the
right.
quarterback when they split off.
Yeah.
Was it East Dillon? Was that the high school? I
Yep.
think?
Yeah,
he was,
yep.
how they recruited. Yeah, he's good. Those are my favorite
good.
seasons. Those later ones, like the first ones are good,
Yeah.
like they're really good. But those later ones, little tension in there.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I've not seen Suits. Can't really defend it, but yeah. So that matchup went 5-4. Another close one came down to the last vote. It went to Suits. Suits won another close one. So as we went through the first side here, we got The Office won in a landslide. Friends won close. Peaky Blinders won close, and Suits won a close one. We did a nice job with our rankings, at least through the first half of this first round, because there's a lot of 5-4 votes there. So we start off the other side of the bracket here. We got Ted Lasso, the 2 seed, against The Last Kingdom. The Ted Lasso is number 1 on 3 lists. The Last Kingdom was number 1 on 1 list. Jet, you want to kick us off here since,
Well, first off, I've never seen Ted Lasso, so I can't vote for it, right? But again, The Last King is just so good. I loved it, and that was probably the last show other than Game of Thrones now that I was bought in and would, like you said, turn it on and then struggle to turn it back off. So
was
that's
very
why it was on my
obviously a
list, number one.
Viking show, right? Isn't that what you said last
Yeah,
time? Very
obviously a Viking
Viking
show. Yeah. Based in England too, if you didn't get that either.
Yeah, Ted Lasso is based in England too, and that's why it won in a landslide. Well, not why, it's just a better show. But they're both based in England, so your argument there really doesn't hold. We'll talk about Ted Lasso as we move on. The next one, Survivor, is up. And there's a lot in the last episode talking about Survivor. Kyle's leaning forward here in his seat. Survivor versus Breaking Bad. Kyle, go ahead. Start us off.
I do not understand how Survivor even made this stinking bracket.
You're welcome.
So help me God.
It's about like Last Kingdom made this bracket.
What are we, a bunch of 40-year-old women?
Hey, my hairline looks like I'm 40, but I'm not a woman. I mean, Colton had it number 1. I had it on my list. Someone else had it on their list, I believe. A Colonel had it on his list.
Colonel
So
did,
it
yeah.
wasn't
You know how much-
3 people had it.
You know how much we're going to get roasted in the comments for Survivor? Not only making the bracket, but
Beating a top.
winning the first round.
The way to spoil it. So
Why are
Survivor
you so
does
mad
win.
about Survivor, but you're not mad about Last Kingdom?
We'll talk about this bracket for a while here.
Because it didn't make it out of the first round.
So Survivor
It shouldn't
does
have been in
win
the bracket.
5-4. Survivor beats Breaking Bad 5-4. The upset of all upsets. Breaking Bad, by a lot of accounts, is arguably, if you look anywhere online, the greatest show of all time. Really, that along with some other ones, but like Breaking Bad is always unanimously top 3, definitely top 5. And Survivor, I mean, it upset it.
7-11
It beat it.
matchup. What do you expect?
I mean, reality TV. I mean, if you're gonna do TV
There's
shows,
only
you gotta
6
have
months
a
difference.
reality TV show in there. Survivor is the best of all the reality TV shows. It's also, there's a little bit of argument that it is a game within the reality-ness of it. I mean, it took 5 votes to win, and it got 5 votes. 3 people put it on their list, and it gained 2 other votes. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys.
I want to know those 2 other people who voted for it.
Well, those 2 other people are not here right now, so.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going
Wait,
to
yeah,
be
someone-
Ken and Jacob.
Yeah, it was Colonel
Oh,
and Dan that
yeah.
voted for Survivor.
Well,
Crazy.
Colonel had it on his list. I had it on my list.
I know
Colton had
he
it on
did.
his list.
I
Yeah.
know.
I mean, 5-4 is crazy. We're upset about it. Obviously, if you're listening to this, chime off in the comments. We know we messed up. We know you might never listen to another episode at this point. As someone who voted for Survivor, I understand it probably shouldn't have won. But I love Survivor.
You
I really
voted
do.
for Survivor.
I voted Survivor. I did. I
Have you
understand.
ever
I probably
seen
shouldn't have
Breaking
won. I
Bad?
thought, oh, it's just an innocent vote. I'll vote Survivor, and then it's not so innocent. Now is it? Colt had it
Kevin,
number
have
1
you
though.
ever-
Colt will defend it.
Have you ever seen Breaking Bad?
It's just a
I
great
have
show.
seen episodes. I've seen episodes.
That would
I've
explain
not
it.
seen the whole.
I've
Yeah.
seen all of
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. It's on my list, but it's 9.
I can respect you for at
couple-
least.
First couple was good, but then it's like every other long show, it dies off. But at least with Survivor, it's always every season it's something new cast.
I was gonna say it's
And it's been going
relatively
for
the
50
same.
seasons.
Well, it is kind of the same, but every season, in my opinion,
It's different.
it's always kind of starts
It- it-
slow, or there's some drama. It's always different. They change it up. But by about midway through, there's always some twist. There's always someone getting
Mhm.
voted out who shouldn't. There's always some big twist that Jeff throws in the game. And you're just, again, you are clicking next episode every single time. And if you're watching live, because they're still putting out new seasons, you're waiting every single week to watch. Was it Wednesday night, Colton? Thursday night?
Yep.
Yeah,
Wednesday-
see?
Tuesday?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I know there's still
Next one
releasing
starts in
episodes.
February.
So good they don't even remember what day it comes out on.
Because I'm streaming it. I'm streaming it. I started from the beginning, and let me tell you, y'all should do the same so that you can respect it a little bit. And the other taste here, Kyle looks like he wants to get up and leave after that argument. Okay, he's styled back in. We're good, ready to move on. Have we cooled down after that a little bit?
I made my piece.
All right, great. I'm just glad Harrison's not here. Harrison was a little fired up after that one.
Yeah,
He's
I
not
wish I
here.
had him in my corner right now.
Yeah, we'd have to have the beep button going if Harrison was here. All right.
Yes.
So next one's a great matchup. We had Game of Thrones versus Fallout. Take it away. Who wants to take this one?
So I've never seen either one of them at the time we did this, but I voted Game of Thrones just strictly off what people talked about. Now I've seen Game of Thrones, so or at least one season. So I'm gonna go for it every time. But
This truly
I've
is
I've
a
never
I've
seen
seen
tough.
one
Fallout.
season, so I'm voting for it every time he says.
I'm voting for it in this.
This-
especially
Trent, what
that
you got?
matchup.
Show, but it's too early in the lifespan. It's put on early season 2. You can't vote for something that early on. Game of Thrones is an all-time great.
I have a hard
Minus the
time
ending.
voting anything over Game of Thrones.
Minus the ending.
It is a good matchup. Fallout, I think, is just too new to really compete with Game of Thrones.
Colton, you're saying something?
Game of Thrones is all time, but just the ending was what screwed it. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
the
never
I
seen
agree.
Fallout.
But
I've never seen Fallout. I might start watching it, but it's hard to put anything up against Game of Thrones and think it's going to win.
I mean, much like I talked about Breaking Bad, right? Like you're looking at shows and the greatest shows. Like I've never seen it, but I respect it because everybody loves Game of Thrones. If you've seen Game of Thrones, it's in your top 5. Like
Mhm.
it's pretty unanimous. I love Fallout. I've seen Fallout. I've not seen Game of Thrones. Like I think Fallout's great. Your argument says too new, 100% correct. They could mess with the ending too. Who knows? But it's must-watch TV every week to me. Fallout is, but Game of Thrones won that one, and it wasn't particularly close. And Game of Thrones is going to have, we'll talk about that one a little bit later here as we go on. Next one's a fun one. We had Schitt's Creek versus Yellowstone, and this one was pretty close. Who's got an argument for either of those?
Not a lot of people watch Schitt's Creek, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Schitt's Creek
I've
was
seen-
one. I watched Schitt's Creek a year ago or so. It's one of those where it's 25-minute episodes. You're just clicking next. The story's good. Actors are good. Like it's a good storyline. It's not incredible, but it's one of those where like I'm ranking on what do I want to turn on and watch and hit next episode. I mean, if you've seen Schitt's Creek does that exactly. Again, Yellowstone. Everybody loves Yellowstone. That seems to watch Yellowstone. So it's a tough matchup for Schitt's Creek. Kyle?
I was just gonna say I've seen Schitt's Creek. I liked it, but I believe I voted Yellowstone in this instance.
Yeah, so Yellowstone won. It wasn't particularly close. Won by a couple votes there, especially for some people that have not seen Yellowstone. Schitt's Creek didn't take very many votes away. So that wraps up the first round. So we get to our final 8. So we have The Office versus Friends, Peaky Blinders versus Suits, Ted Lasso versus Survivor, and Game of Thrones versus Yellowstone. So our first matchup, we got The Office versus Friends. Arguably 2 of the greatest sitcoms of all time. They're all timers. Everybody's seen them. Anybody want to argue for Friends? Because everybody had The Office on their list. Anybody want to get an argument for Friends?
It was a tough one. I voted The Office, but
The Office is what Friends is basically, but The Office perfected it. So that's why The Office should have won.
I think it's a different kind of comedy, though. Like The
And
Office
Michael-
is just. I mean, The Office is what it is. You got to have a specific sense of humor to enjoy that.
I mean, The Office is good. Like Michael Scott's an all-timer.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's The Office was number 3 on my list. I'm just saying it's a different kind of comedy.
It is. I mean, I think I said last episode we grew up with Friends. Friends is a little bit older, about a decade older from its launch,
Yeah.
ish. I mean, it's a great matchup. But The Office won 7-2, wasn't close, and I think that's fair. As somebody who voted for Friends, had Friends in their top 3, I think it's fair to give The Office a nod. And The Office is the first show moved on to the Final Four. Next round, we had Peaky Blinders versus Suits. I'm going to sit this one out because I've seen neither, and y'all love both of them, so I'm going to let you guys take this one away.
I don't even remember who won this, actually.
Well, Peaky Blinders won it 6-3.
Okay.
Wasn't close. Why do you agree that Peaky Blinders should have won this, or maybe you disagree?
I mean, I guess it's one of those things again where it's 2 totally different shows.
Tell us the plot of Suits a little bit. We heard about Peaky Blinders.
I mean, Suits is attorneys basically fighting nonstop, people overtaking their firm and then retaking it back. It's just a lot of drama, and I guess the story kind of felt like it was looping towards the end and doing a lot of the same stuff season after season.
All the big shows.
This is what all the big shows do once they make it past like 5 seasons, which is fine. I don't know. I guess Peaky Blinders was just better to me, and I've seen Suits more recent than I have Peaky Blinders, so it's not a recency bias thing.
So Peaky Blinders won that one 6-3 was the vote. Wasn't particularly close again. So that's our first Final Four matchup. It'll be The Office against Peaky Blinders. We're going to kick over to the other side of the bracket and find out who's going to meet them in the Final Four. We got Ted Lasso versus Survivor. Colton, Survivor, you're number 1. Upset.
Didn't stand a chance.
Made it to the Final 8, and it got destroyed by Ted Lasso.
Never seen Ted Lasso, so I couldn't tell you.
What was the
Ted
score
Lasso.
on that one?
7-2.
Yeah, Survivor getting 2 votes is crazy. I think it's because there's 2 people who haven't seen Ted Lasso. Obviously, I voted Ted Lasso number 1.
That's not very nice.
One of the few shows I've seen both of. Kyle, this echoing Kyle, I've seen both of these. It's not close. Survivor's good. Ted Lasso, if you had enough time in the day, you could watch all 3 seasons in one sitting. Like, it's that good. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. I don't know a single person that's seen Ted Lasso and not loved it. And I said that about, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, some of those. Like, people watch them and they love it. And Ted Lasso is as new as it is. I mean, it's in that same category. It's just people think of kind of the other shows. Because Ted Lasso, it's stuck over there on Apple TV, and sometimes hard for people to see that. Anybody else got any other arguments for Ted Lasso before we move on to the next one?
Most people's gripes with better TV shows is the endings are always subpar. I don't think that's the case with Ted Lasso. It's a complete show. I think it was disappointing how it ended just because it wasn't how I wanted it to end, but it made sense.
Over already?
Yeah.
It was
Is there 3? Is there 3 seasons?
Yep, 3. Is there?
Well, there's 3 seasons. It's technically over, but allegedly they're working on another season and they're bringing some people back.
Yeah.
But it's in the works. They said it was done after season 3.
3 seasons, 50 going on, probably never ending.
That's a great argument. That's a great argument.
That is not a good argument.
How is that not a good argument?
Because they don't pay their actors.
Unless
At a certain
you win.
point, you can't pay actors enough. Whereas Survivor, it's like, if I win this, I get money. So they're like,
Jeff.
you can do it. You can do it for
Jeff's
free.
making
and one of you
millions.
gets paid.
Yeah, Jeff
one guy.
is.
You can't
One
rate
guy, 30.
if you base the show's off of longevity, your list isn't going to be good.
Like
Yeah,
I said,
what's the
Family Guy
Simpsons?
and The Simpsons should be on there if that's the case.
Colton, I've been your
One
biggest
plus.
supporter of Survivor. I've had your back the whole way. It's time for Survivor to go home. It's over. The
I'll
run's
watch
over.
Ted Lasso and hate it, and I'll let you know.
The tribe has spoken.
The
7-2,
tribe
Survivor's
is
out.
we have voted
Tribe is
Survivor out.
And you are going home.
So Ted Lasso is our third show to make the Final Four. The last one, the winner of Game of Thrones versus Yellowstone goes. Kyle, you seen both?
You already know. It's number 2 on my list because number 1 got beat out by Survivor.
Still
I have a
crying.
very hard time putting any show over Game of Thrones. There was only one above it, and it was Breaking Bad.
I agree with you. Yellowstone's
think-
great, but I can't stand.
Yellowstone is niche. You
It's
can't
very good.
go just
Yellowstone
for-
is very good.
It is good.
It's not an
I've-
well. It is an all timer. It's just not. It's not Game of Thrones though.
I mean, as somebody who has seen neither and cast a vote here, I want to talk about our legitimacy. And I already talked about that with Survivor beating Breaking Bad. But if Game of Thrones doesn't have a deep run here, we're going to have no followers, no listeners, because what the heck are we talking about here? So I cast my vote for Game
You
of
just
Thrones
said you haven't seen either, so how can you even talk?
because I gotta go with what's best for the show here.
Well, I would argue that if it's between two shows you haven't seen, you should vote for the one you would most likely watch or want to watch.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, 100%. Like, I've
Right.
heard great about Yellowstone, but like Game of Thrones, again, like I've been saying about Game of Thrones, Ted Lasso, those kind, like everybody loves them. It's just a matter of time before I watch it, and I love it too, and it might be my number one.
You'd still think Yellowstone is based in the 1800s because that changes everything.
You're right. My bad. Should have done my research. Game of Thrones wins in a landslide. Yellowstone had a couple votes. It wasn't close. So that's our final four. We got
Can't
The
wait to
Office.
hear that matchup come up here.
The Office versus Peaky Blinders, and we had Ted Lasso versus Game of Thrones. We're going to start with The Office versus Peaky Blinders. I think either of these, in my opinion, would lose any of the either two on the other side. But what do we think? The Office, number one seed, is it going to get dethroned by Peaky Blinders here?
It should, to me.
Why?
Going back to the story of it.
The Office is the most watchable show in history.
Yeah, The Office is something you put on to kill time, though. How many times are you like actually watching The Office?
Every time.
Okay, well, you watch every show. So, Peaky Blinders, you have to pay attention to know the story, which I find interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
The Office is just kind of something you can throw on in the background.
Yeah, I'll agree. You put it on when you're doing something else.
So it's crazy here. And I want to make a couple arguments against The Office. Okay. Number one, we all had it ranked. None of us had it number one. I don't even know if any of us had it number two. So again, it sounds like background. Yeah, background sound to me. I didn't vote for it against Friends. Again, that's fine. Fine with that.
Friends with your
Everybody
number
talks
three.
about The Office. You get halfway through The Office and Michael Scott leaves, and everybody stops watching the show. I
To be
stopped
fair,
watching.
that's
at
not
that point.
halfway.
Wait,
Well,
you said no one had The Office number one. That's true, but no one had Peaky Blinders number one either.
right, but The Office was the number one seed. That's my argument. Is that's the number one
Because
seed.
it was on the most lists.
Yeah, it's on the most lists. It garnered the most points, but I don't think like it's got to have staying power. I just don't know if it has the staying power. And there's been some good
It's
arguments
been
for Peaky
over for
Blinders.
how long?
Still one of the top shows of all time.
Yeah, it's been over for how long, and people still rewatch it or start it from new. Like it
And
definitely has
people
the
that have never
staying
heard of Peaky
power.
Blinders.
So I was saying it's staying power in this bracket. I know it has
Yeah.
staying power. Yeah, it's
I'm
Okay.
not saying Peaky Blinders is a bad show, but I just look back at the list. No one had Peaky Blinders in the top three.
Did anybody have both of these on their list?
I
But
had
no one
Peaky
had
Blinders
Peaky
at
Blinders
4
top.
and The
I had
Office
Peaky
three.
at
Blinders 2,
Office is
Trenton.
3.
7.
Office is 3.
I had Peaky
yeah.
Blinders 2 and The Office 3.
That's close.
Yeah.
I had The Office 3 and Peaky Blinders 6.
See, mine were basically opposite, but
I just love The Office for
All right.
exactly what it is, and it's just stupid humor.
which is fair. I based all
Like,
my
if you
votes
just-
off of the
you ever
story
just
that
have
the
one of
show
those-
was telling.
You ever just have one of those days, like long days at work, and you just want to come home and watch something mindless and laugh? That's what
Yep.
The Office does for you.
You're right, and everybody loves you. I had an Office, no pun intended, an Office Halloween costume, and I had to be Jim Halper. I mean, everybody loves you. Everybody knows who The Office is.
Were you
My hair
three-hole
lines
punch
out,
Jim?
but
I don't know.
you know,
You seem more like a
Everybody-
Dwight Schrute kind of guy to me.
I was just gonna say that should have been.
No, guys, he's Toby. Look at the hair.
Oh,
That's
true.
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 don't
Yeah, you
disrespect
got a point
Toby
there.
like that. Come on. I was assigned. I did not choose my role. All I'm saying is people love The Office. People recognize The Office. The Office is great. Does it have the staying power though? Which is what I initially had said to beat Peaky Blinders. everybody had the odds on their list, but Peaky Blinders was higher ranked on some lists.
I don't
Peaky
remember
Blinders
who won
won.
it.
Peaky
Okay.
Blinders won it, and they won by 2 votes.
What
So
do
it
you got
wasn't.
there,
I'm not
Trenton?
upset by that.
So Peaky Blinders made the championship, and as Trenton said,
what do you
it
got?
wasn't anybody's number one.
My background is blurred right now, but this is
Also,
a
I'm-
fumble of Jim Halpert.
Respect.
So Peaky Blinders, the 4th seed, upsets The Office, number 1 seed. For those of you that might be like, oh, they just, they tallied their points and whatever. Obviously, it's going to be chalked. Well, we had a major Cinderella story with Survivor. Got the 4th seed in the championship, upsetting the 1 seed. Take it back over to the other side where we got Ted Lasso, 3 people's number 1s against Game of Thrones, arguably the greatest show, still on the list that the fans probably love. Who's seen both? Kyle?
Where did I have them? I had Game of Thrones 2 and Ted Lasso 5, so it was close.
I thought this
I
was
don't
going to be
know.
an interesting one, just because Ted Lasso was ranked number 1 by 3 different people. It's much like Survivor. It's ranked. It can you pull in another votes. I mean, Ted Lasso. Again, I said this in the last episode, but for those of you that haven't seen it, it talks about certain real life issues that people don't talk about a lot, and there's certain stigmas around, and it breaks them down in a great way. That's great humor. It's sports based. For those who don't like sports shows, however, though, like it's more than just that. So if that's what your holdup is, I don't want to watch a soccer show about someone from Britain. It's better than that. They should turn it on. I know Jit needs to watch it because he's always looking for more recommendations. And she's only seen 5 shows ever, whatever it is. Ted Lasso is great.
The other 5
great
shows,
show.
he didn't even watch them all.
Yeah, Ted Lasso's a good one, but Game of Thrones won by a landslide here, and I think I respect that Game of Thrones won by a landslide. I think Ted Lasso racked up a lot of its points to get to the 2 seed because it was ranked so high on some lists. But Game of Thrones walked into the championship as the 3 seed. So we had the 3 seed versus the 4 seed. That's the championship matchup. I see neither. I'm gonna completely sit this argument out. I'm gonna let you guys debate it, talk about it, go wherever you guys need to go with this, and I'll tell you who won at the end. So take it away.
I don't think there's an argument here.
I can't say anything negative about either
I've
show.
never seen Peaky Blinders,
No.
so
Like I
Like-
said, I base my votes off of the story the show tells. Peaky Blinders is a great story. Game of Thrones is phenomenal, even
The
though,
story.
spoiler alert, the ending is less than ideal.
I don't think you need to say spoiler alert. That show's been done for years.
Well, Jid hasn't seen it, so
Yeah, come on.
I'm just
Jit
speaking for the
hasn't seen a
people.
lot.
But
That's his own fault.
what I liked about Game of Thrones was you never really knew what was going to happen. There was heartbreak, there was joy, there was fear. And you kind of get that in Peaky Blinders, but it's also, you can kind of see what's coming. Because it is kind of repetitive. There's only one season where I can think of that gave me the same feeling that Game of Thrones gave me. So that's why I voted for Game of Thrones. Take it all. There's just nothing
I'm
else
with
to
you,
say.
Logan. I'm with you, Logan.
No argument for Peaky Blinders. Is that what I'm hearing?
I recommend watching them both, but
They're
you
both
can't
very
compete with Game of Thrones.
If I'm hearing this correctly, Game of Thrones deserves to be our champion. And it's
Yeah.
because against Peaky Blinders is not particularly close. Is that what I'm hearing?
no question.
Yes.
Well, Game of Thrones won unanimously, if you're wondering. Okay.
9-0, huh?
Well, it's 5-0. A couple of us, including myself, abstained from the vote since I'd seen neither. I was going to let you guys take that one away. But Game of
Gotcha.
Thrones wins. Game of Thrones end up with the 3 seed, ends up winning the whole thing. Hopefully that avenged us from our Breaking Bad versus Survivor upset. Hopefully you can
Didn't need to.
respect it that Game of Thrones, was able to come through and win because, again, you look online, you look at any rankings, you talk to anybody that's seen the show. It's one of the all-time greats. Any closing remarks from anybody about the bracket?
I got
At
a
least
list of
my number
shows
2
for it.
show won it.
I do have some shows I need to check out and rewatch. I recommend watching several shows, especially that are on my list, because they're not some normal shows, but they tell a great story.
I have to get Netflix back in the rotation. I stopped Netflix a while ago. Now all the good shows are just on Netflix, so I have to get that back in the rotation to
I-
watch them all.
I think The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor are both on Netflix. Welcome to Derry is on Prime. Supernatural, I don't know where Supernatural went. It was on Netflix and then it got pulled off. But that show is
Welcome to
another
Derry's
show
on
that had
HBO too.
longevity. It started in like 2005 and just ended a couple years ago. Walking Dead, I
Supernatural's
believe
on
that's
Peacock.
on Netflix.
It used to be for sure. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah, Walking Dead is dead. It was good for the first 5 seasons, and then it just kept going. Like, that's one of those shows where it seemed like it never ended,
Hmm.
and it
Yeah.
needed to end sooner rather than later.
It was good for like the first couple seasons, but there's like no story really that can go on longer because it's all the same.
There are spin-offs of The Walking Dead that are pretty good.
Mhm.
Like they're like 1 season, 2 season things. But other
Well, I
than
think the great
that,
thing is,
yeah.
yeah, none of us have seen all the shows, right? And there's some number ones that none of us had, and it's mostly because we hadn't seen them. I mean, that's the fun of TV shows, right? There's an unlimited assortment, and there's all types of categories. Reality TV deserves to be on here, right? Colton is your number one Survivor, upsetting Breaking Bad. That's the fun of the bracket. You got Breaking Bad versus Survivor, and where else besides at the Trojan Round Table would you be debating those two shows against each other? But Game of Thrones is our first champion. We have all kinds of topics coming up. But you, if you are listening to this and you want to create your own top 10 and then have them put into a bracket, link in the description takes you to Google form. Click that link, fills out your top 10. It's going to ask you for a username. It's going to ask you for an email, whatever. We're just using that to know who you are. Build a little bit of a community here. We're not going to do anything with your email. We're not going to do anything with your username. Don't worry about that. We're just trying to get the bots out of here and all that fun stuff. But if you want to create your own top 10, we'll do that. We'll put it into a bracket. We'll let the fans vote on it. And then we'll let you know our thoughts on that once we get enough people here listening to that. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's our first 2 episodes, our first topic. Thank you for joining us. I mean, we had a lot of fun with it. We're going to get better. I promise it's not a finished product, but we appreciate you being here. And we'll see you next week where we talk about Winter Olympic sports, because next week the opening ceremony starts for the Olympics and y'all are going to want to know what to watch. So thanks for tuning in, listening, watching us. We'll see you next time.